right, everybody, we're back with episode number 94 of Kevin's Corner Real Estate from Marketing Perspective. And we were just talking with Bayoni Arashi from the Midas Football Academy. Not real estate related, but the man's doing great work with the youth here in Fort Bend County. So give him a call if you're interested in soccer or you know somebody that needs to just talk to somebody about some things.
Absolutely. It's hard to follow that because, I mean, what an amazing story.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. So he's doing some really good things. So, but not to diminish our second guest, Gregory Gray from the Loan Signing Agency.
Absolutely.
Tell everybody what you do, man.
Well, our number one job is to protect reputations and to build lasting relationships with title companies and signers and notaries all across the country. We work for lots of different title companies. Right now, currently, our clients are in Texas, Tennessee, and Nevada. We're in the process of expanding into Florida, but we do signings all over the country. We've done signings in all 50 states. Last year, we did a little over 2,000 signings utilizing about 600 notaries.
So tell everybody that's watching, you keep saying signings. What does that mean?
Okay.
What do you literally do?
What is a signing?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you do a real estate transaction, you have two sides. You have the buyer and you have the seller, okay? So when somebody sits down with the buyer or the seller, that is a signing. And sometimes you may have multiple because you may have multiple sellers and they may be in different locations. And so each one of those is a signing. And so we facilitate the buyer or the seller having that closing outside of the title company.
I was just fixing to say, why do you facilitate it as opposed to the title company doing it out? It's because it's not happening at the title company.
It's not happening in the title company. And sometimes we even do it, as we've done here, when you're just overloaded with business. We come in and help. But typically total relief.
Relieve the escrow officers. So,
absolutely.
So one of the scenarios is that I get a lot is, well, what happens if my seller is in Tennessee and the property's here in Fort Bend County or in Houston? You know, they're not going to be in the state of Texas to do the signing.
That's where we come in. Your escrow officer will reach out to us, and we'll facilitate that with a local notary, and we'll make sure that it happens on time and it happens the way it's supposed to, and that the person performing the closing is actually certified and experienced enough to be able to do it well.
Yeah, and handle anything that might come up during the signing.
Absolutely.
Now, so you own your own loan signing agency franchise, or what do you call it?
No, it is. I own the company, and then we contract with the notaries all across the country. Okay,
so all right, so you have people all across the country that are certified as a notary, and they're on your basic list of. Basically, your list of notaries that can be used in other parts.
Right.
But you vet those people, right?
Right. No, we start from a database of about 50,000 notaries across the country. But then we personally interview. We look at their credentials. We make sure they have the proper credentials, and that they have a recent background check, and they have errors and omissions insurance. There's a lot that goes into it, and so out of those 50,000 or so notaries, we're currently only utilizing about 900.
Okay, 900 out of 50,000. Yeah. And those 900 are located all over the country or all over the world?
Well, all over the country.
The country.
Now, when we utilize remote online notaries, which we have a team here in Texas, we have a team in Tennessee, Virginia, Nevada. Those notaries, they may be signing with people anywhere in the world.
Okay. And what are some of the things that might come up? Well, let's start at the beginning. What are some of the things that you would recommend that anybody that's going to be involved in one of your signings or one of your notary people would recommend people involved in a signing that they make sure that they come to the table with? What are some things to not do or to, you know what I'm saying?
The very first thing that I would say is make sure you communicate with your agent as early in the process.
The real estate agent.
Their real estate agent. Communicate with them early in the process as possible so that they can notify the escrow team that you're not going to be on site to sign. Don't wait till the very last second, because that makes it more difficult.
Yes.
That's number one. Number two, they need to have valid ID. And a valid ID does not mean a Costco card. It has to be a government-issued card with a signature, a
You
picture,
just
and an
upset my
expiration.
wife.
Yes,
You
I know.
just upset her.
I didn't do it on purpose, because she's amazing, but that's not what I was. But I've actually had people say, "Well, I've got my Costco card. Can I use that?" No, you can't.
No, it's got to be a government
A
issued
government-issued card with an expiration date, a picture, and a signature.
And the expiration date has to be valid.
Has to be valid. It can't be. We can't sign at 12:01 if it expired 2 minutes ago.
Now, does a driver's license and or a government issued ID that's not a driver's license, do those both qualify?
Now say that again.
So you can get a driver's license, or you can just get a government issued ID.
Yes, either one of those qualify.
Both, okay.
Passport qualifies.
Passport qualifies. Okay.
Any one of those three.
As long as they're valid.
As long as they're valid, and it can be a driver's license or ID from any state. It doesn't have to be Texas. It could be in any state, or a valid passport. That also works.
So if I'm signing in Texas, but I don't have a Texas driver's license, I have a Tennessee driver's license, that still works?
It's perfectly fine.
As long as it's valid.
And vice versa.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. What are some of the things that you should not do?
Well, should not do. You should not be late.
Mm-hmm.
You should not bring your ID.
Well, okay.
And you should not expect the notary to be able to give you legal advice or give you advice on any of the information in the documents, because the notary is only allowed to present the documents and help you execute them. That is all.
Whose responsibility is it to educate you on what you are signing?
Ultimately, it comes down to you and your agent having a conversation. And if you don't know enough, you need to contact your lender, because the lender is the one that creates the majority of the documents.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
You can get
What
with
about-
your lender.
Well, I guess the title company wouldn't be involved because you're doing it off-site.
You still can call your escrow team, absolutely, and they can fill in any blanks. You know, your typical signing agent can answer a general question, you know, such as this document's name is this, and you can read right here, and it'll tell you what this document means.
Mm-hmm.
They can point you to the right place in the document to understand the document. If you need more than that detail, you can always call your escrow team right from the signing table. Your notary is equipped to be able to do that for you, because they know who to call and where to call.
Okay.
And that can give them the data. And if that's not enough, then you need to call your lender or your agent, and they can fill in the other gaps.
Something that comes up a lot, at least with me and the agents that I deal with, is I need somebody that speaks Spanish, and
Right.
I don't have an escrow officer here that, well, I do now, but I didn't in the past.
Right.
So is that also something you can help with?
We do that all the time.
What, other than Spanish, what other languages can you help with?
Spanish, Vietnamese, Mandarin, Russian. I'm trying to think of another one. Those are the big ones right off the top of my head. Those are ones we've
So
done
even
before.
Russian, really?
Even Russian, yeah.
Wow.
In fact, we just took on a new Russian-speaking notary in Colorado this week.
What about Italian or French?
I would imagine I can. You know,
Probably
we
find
would
one.
fall back onto our database.
Yeah.
Here's one that you haven't asked, but you probably haven't even thought about. But American Sign Language.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sign language.
Yeah.
So you have
and
someone that can do that.
We have a notary. We have a couple of notaries in the Houston area that can do ASL.
Okay. Sweet.
We did one. In fact, we did one about a month ago in Wisconsin.
Okay. So if you're a real estate agent and you're watching this podcast and you need someone that speaks a specific language, here at Stewart Title, Sugar Land and Richmond, even if I don't have someone in the office that can do it, this man can make sure and make it happen. So don't let that shy you away from using Stewart Title or any title company for that matter.
Any title company, because
Yeah.
this is a team. You know, real estate's a team sport, and it takes all of us to get these transactions. You know, to get our signers across the finish line, and that's the
Yeah.
whole point.
So Are you looking to grow your network? Are you looking to grow your
Always,
team?
always.
So, are you? If someone is a now, if someone is just a certified notary public,
Right.
does that qualify them to be on your list?
It starts the process.
Okay.
They're going to have to get signing agent certification from the National Notary Association,
Okay.
and they're going to need to get some mentoring because you're wearing, when you go to a signing, you're wearing two hats. You're wearing your notary public hat, but then you're wearing your signing agent hat that is really more of a representative of title. So there's some things you have to learn, and we do that with a lot of new notaries on a regular basis.
So
We mentor them.
you don't have to have experience in title, real estate title.
No.
Okay, but you learn that along the way.
You learn it along the way.
Okay.
Well, if you're applying yourself, not everyone applies themselves, but if you
Right.
apply yourself, you learn all of that along the way.
Okay, and then you said Texas, Tennessee,
In Nevada,
Nevada
we have clients there.
there, and you're fixing to be operational in Florida.
Florida,
What other states are on your list for the future?
Arizona. Basically, what we're planning on doing is adding Arizona and Florida and increasing our client count in Tennessee and Nevada.
Okay, all right, and then we don't necessarily have to talk about numbers, but how do you charge for your services?
We charge based on what type of signing it is. So
Okay.
if it's a buyer, there's one fee, and if it's a seller, it's usually because there's fewer papers and it takes longer. It's less. And then if your escrow team needs it scanned back and uploaded to the portal so that your escrow team can have it back ASAP, there's a little extra fee for that.
Okay, and then is there an extra fee if we need someone that speaks a different language?
No.
No,
No.
you just request it. And
You just request it, and we'll get it set up.
Okay,
And we do signings pretty much any time of the day.
all right.
I've done a signing at 4:30 in the morning for a service member in Austria.
Oh wow. Okay, because it was more convenient for them.
It was the only time of the day that they had access to a computer
Really?
during their lunch period.
Okay. So you set your alarm and got up and did it then? Huh?
They did it, and I warned them ahead of time I was not going to be in my full uniform.
No,
No.
and probably not in the best of moods.
No, I was in a good mood. Totally in a good mood because they were serving us over there, so I was going to
Yeah.
be nice to them, but I wasn't going to be pretty.
Yeah. No,
Not
I
like you.
understand.
I know you're pretty
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, my head's shaved, so it always
makes it
looks the
easy.
same.
Yeah.
So, what do you do? How do you generate leads? How do people find you? How do people, other than, I know you door knock on title companies and everything like
Sure,
that.
but I'll be honest. The way we get most of our business is word of mouth. It's very common, especially with Stewart Title. We had one, 3 or 4 months ago. It was for an office that we had been wanting to, that I had been marketing to, and their signing service. It was a tricky situation, and they needed a male notary to go out there, and the signing service couldn't get it done, and so the branch manager called another branch manager, and they said, "You got to get Greg because he'll get it done." And we had a male notary out there within an hour, and it was like the end of day, and we had it signed and done, by 6:30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And then, do you promote your loan signing agency business on social media?
I'm all over social media. We have we've got pages for 6 of our offices plus our main page, and then I'm on I have my own personal page that I do more promotion with than anything. So,
What platforms?
Facebook, Instagram, X, and LinkedIn.
Okay. Do you have a Google My Business page?
I do have a Google My Business page
Good.
because there was somebody that taught me that was the number one I had to have.
Yeah. I don't know who that was.
I can't imagine who that was. Kevin Davidson.
What about YouTube?
YouTube. That is in the works. I'm about to start up that.
Yeah, you said that last time.
No, I know, but this time I've actually gotten the green screen set up. And,
Okay. So you're gonna start doing videos.
I've got the tripod, and I'm going to start doing videos. In fact, I'll be doing some excerpts from this video.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
yeah. So
Awesome.
Yes, I know I said it last time, but it's still, we're much closer than we were.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I want you guys to get out of this conversation is, yes, there's thousands of people out there that are certified notary public, but people like Greg, who've been doing this for a while, runs his own company, has his own list of notaries that are vetted, know what they're doing. It's a lot different than just calling someone that says, I'm a notary public, what can I get you signed?
Right.
So you guys gotta, if you need someone like this, that you need something signed that's either not in office or the people are out of the country or out of the state or whatever, you got to give Greg a call.
Well, I appreciate that, and we're another tool in the agent's tool belt, and that's how agents really build their value to their customers, is having lots of tools and being able to fix them in any situation.
Well, surround yourself with vendors that are going to make you look good.
Absolutely.
And your story a second ago about getting a guy out there in an hour, that makes them look good.
All the time.
The agents and the title company that was involved in that whole transaction. So, and you've made us look good over and over and over and over and over again. So, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Yes. All right. So you can go to theloansigningagency.com. You can look up that on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on X, and Gregory Gray is my name. You can reach us at 346-291-7467. That's 346-291-7467. And you can email us at orders@theloansigningagency.com.
There you go, folks. So if you're looking for a very reputable and reliable service that will get your documents signed and notarized when they're not in-house or even in the state of the country, the Loan Signing Agency can do that for you. Give me the phone number one more time.
346-291-7467.
Thanks for coming on the podcast again.
Absolutely. My pleasure. As always.
Yes, sir. This has been episode number 94 of Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from Marketing Perspective. We're getting real close to 100, so when I get there, it's going to be a big party. Like I said in the opening of the podcast, if you are a vendor or an agent that wants to be on the podcast, you follow me, you subscribe, give me a call, 832-654-0527, and I'll put you on the calendar. Thank you to Jennifer Smitis, Caitlin Kornick, Devin Devin, Van Wynn, and Gracie Lagos from the Richmond office, and everybody else that works for us. And like I always say, if you're an agent in the Houston area and you need title services and you're not using Stewart Title, shame on you. I will sooner or later find out who you are, and you will hear from me. Or I'll sick Greg on you, one of the two. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.